Hello, good morning. So today's video is a little bit different format, but I felt like this was really important because I have gotten this question or various permutations of this question at least half a dozen times in the last week. And so that tells me that there's something going on out there in the ether, out there in the world, and it's really resonating. So I wanted to just give kind of a fireside chat today. And my audience today is developers. So obviously, I'm a former IT infrastructure engineer. I did cloud virtualization and automation. I've pivoted to YouTube and AI. And many of you in the audience, I think, probably 40 to 60% are in some kind of tech space. And the question that I get is, should I stay with computer science, or how do I safeguard myself in the age of AI? Usually, there's a few different variations of this question, but I get this question quite a bit. And so one of the things that I tell people is I started with Pascal and C. You might not know that because the code that I write is not particularly good. As I've mentioned, I was never a professional developer. I was more into automation and stuff. But having started with the basics, with very old languages like Pascal and C, that serves a tremendous underpinning kind of foundational framework for understanding raw computer logic. So if you're in computer science and you know the basics, like that will help you even in the age of generative AI. Probably especially in the age of generative AI. Like one of my personal biggest weaknesses is math. It turns out I was really good at math, but I hated it because of the way that it was taught here in America. Anyways, so the first point is that yes, investing in the underpinning skills from my perspective, my personal opinion, is that yes, it is absolutely worth it, even when as generative AI takes over. Now, the next thing is, okay, well, so how do you safeguard it? How do you think about this stuff? Many developers have been exposed to generative AI for the first time. I've heard that a lot of companies have done like training sessions, like here's GPT, it can write code, it can handle data, and they're like, some developers are having an existential crisis, like, oh my God, my job's going away. So this is the meat of the video, here is how to think about language models and generative AI as a developer. So this comes from a conversation that I actually had with my brother-in-law, he kind of like followed my footsteps. Like he did his master's in information security and cybersecurity. So he was a security expert who has pivoted to cloud, not infrastructure, but cloud development and that sort of thing. And so he's like, well, what do I do? And I said, the best way to think about a language model or a generative AI model is it's just a new kind of interpreter. Think of it like a new Python interpreter, think of it like a new Java virtual machine, and think about English as a new programming language. And he's like, oh, so it's just a new library. I was like, yes, if you think about this as a new library or a new language and a new kind of interpreter, you're golden. And yeah, so basically what I said is like, think of it as a very poorly documented language and interpreter and library. And after that, he's just like, oh yeah, this is like super obvious. So I hope that this quick little video helps you kind of wrap your head around how to think about it. Large language models as an interpreter, like you can call all sorts of functions, but a lot of the functions are hidden, right? Some of the functions are brainstorming, some of it are writing code, some of it is calling APIs and that sort of thing. So if you're able to pivot in your mind and think about large language models as a new kind of interpreter and English as a new kind of programming language, then I think you're going to be fine. One of the other things that I've seen some developers struggle with is pivoting from kind of reactive or imperative coding to more autonomous agents. So if you want, let me know in the comments if you want me to talk about how to make that pivot in your mind. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you got a lot out of this, please like, subscribe, and also consider supporting me on Patreon. Everything that I do is free, low friction, no ads, but I do need to eat, and this is my full-time job. So if I help you, please help me. Fair's fair. All right. Cheers.